As bands become more sophisticated, in-ear monitoring has become more common. They used to be a tool relegated to the highest production acts on the largest stages, but more and more I'm just seeing them used by local bands. They are about as accessible as it gets these days, and today we're going to be looking at Lekato's MS-1 wireless IEM units. In the box you get one receiver, one transmitter, two 3.5mm TRRS audio cables, a double-ended USB-C charging cable that will charge both units at the same time, and a single 1/8 to 1/4 inch adapter. You do not get earphones, you will have to supply those yourself, but for 60 bucks, this seems pretty okay. On the units themselves, we have very simple controls. On-off switches, mono stereo switches, indicator lights for power and low battery, and a pairing function. The receiver has buttons on the front for volume, and that's kind of it. The idea here is that you plug a monitor signal into the transmitter, which wirelessly sends the signal to the receiver on your belt, which lets you hear the monitor in your headphones. Allegedly, these guys will last up to 5 hours on a single charge as well. Now, there are a lot of benefits to using IEMs. You get a consistent monitor sound across the stage no matter where you're standing. You can have a quieter stage volume, which is great for the sound engineer. And depending on which earphones you can get some built-in ear protection. But can you get reliable wireless at this price point? These units cost a mere $60. That is absurdly cheap when you compare them to the Shure systems that commonly get used. Now, the first test that I did with these when I pulled them out of the box was to plug it into my audio interface and then walk around my apartment with my headphones and see if I could hear music everywhere I went. All right, I'm standing here in my closet with the door closed. Ah! This is as far away as I can get from my computer. I'm still grooving.
What's happening?
I'm listening to music wirelessly!
Wow.
You can't hear it, only I can hear it. This is a silent disco.
Don't tell me what to do! You're not my dad!
I've tested other wireless units in here, and they usually struggle because there's just so much wireless interference in here from all of the various Wi-Fi networks and whatnot, but these seem to do just fine. No matter where I went into this apartment, I was able to get a signal. The only time I was able to get it to stutter a little bit was by putting my hand right over it, and that seems pretty reasonable. Just don't do that and you'll get an uninterrupted signal. These claim to have a 90-foot range as well, and I think that is more than enough for the situations you're probably going to be using these in, like small clubs and bars, and you're probably always going to have a line of sight to the sound desk too, so I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. The sound quality on these is fine. It's not as good as plugging a cable directly in, and there's a little bit of hissing, but it's really not bad at all. Like, guys, these are 60 bucks. They're not fancy, but I'm pretty impressed. Wireless typically tends to struggle in this environment, and these have done just fine. They're just simple, they're cheap, and they seem to get the job done. But here's the thing, in the band where I'm using IEMs, we already have the nice Shure stuff, and so using these would be like a little bit of a downgrade, so I feel like I don't really have a use for these. Or do I? I recently joined a psychedelic country band. Think like if Pink Floyd was a country band, and that'd get you in the neighborhood. But we use IEMs both for rehearsals and for our gigs. Here's what I'm thinking. Since I already use IEMs in that band, what I could probably do is split my IEM mix, sending one just like normal to my headphones, and then send the other signal to my Zoom H2N recorder, thereby letting me wirelessly record my in-ear mix for you guys for the videos. This will let you hear my monitor mix exactly as I'm hearing it on stage, as well as allow me to put that Zoom recorder anywhere that I want in the room. I showed off how I was recording audio in my How to Film Your Own Gigs video that like none of you watched, and that's fine, I'm not mad about it, but you should go watch it after you watch this video. But given all the difficulties that I faced in recording audio, this should give me a cool second option that I think will work really, really well. For one, it'll be mixed right from the get-go, so you'll actually be able to hear the bass, and it should sound good, in theory. So let's give this a shot at my rehearsal tonight, and we'll see how it goes.
You made a deal with the devil. As your looks begin to fade, I saw you laughing through your tears. You slowly drift away, it hurts me so. And I thought you should know. Yeah, it hurt me so. And I thought
Okay, so that was a very successful test. Not perfectly executed, we have a lot of room for improvement, but my idea worked, and that's the important part. Where the microphone gave us a pretty good room sound, it lacked a little bit of definition, but that's what we get from the IEMs being really, really dry, and the two of them work really well together. There are a couple of issues that I'm gonna have to watch out for. The main one just being the quality of this splitter. Like, it just seems like if it gets bumped, the sound like crackles or just drops altogether. You guys are never gonna believe what happened. So all my footage is ruined because this splitter sent a very good quality audio signal to my ears and set garbage quality to my recorder. And all of my footage is now not ruined because of it, because the microphone still sounded okay.
Stars and stripes, at least it from at last blue lives they are gods.
But doesn't do a very good job of demonstrating these wireless IEMs. I promise you the audio quality is fine. This will work. I've got another splitter on order. I've got a gig next weekend that we can try this at, and I think we'll just push this video out a week and give it another shot then. Sound good? These gigs just have like so many moving parts to them, and getting it all right is actually really hard, guys. Being a YouTuber is so difficult. Wham! All right, this is the point where I'm gonna put in the clips of my gig where this does work and sounds good. Okay. Well, another day, another setback. That's kind of frustrating, but I have started using these for my Instagram videos, and they've been working quite well for that. I feel like at this point I don't want to delay things any longer, so I'm just going to give you my final thoughts on these and then hopefully share gig footage in future videos. If you have ever been curious about IEMs and don't want to spend a ton of money, these are fantastic. $60 is frankly absurd for how well these work. Even though there is a tiny hit to sound quality, I've not had any issues with connectivity or latency. These little things are solid, and I feel like I can definitely recommend them. So thank you so much to Lekato for sending these out for my review, and thank you to you for watching my video. I hope it was helpful, and see you on the next one. AMPS!